Hi, this is Paul from Outerloop Coaching and outerloopcoaching.com. I'm with you in this video to talk about 3 awesome band photos and what makes them so great. I went searching and searching and searching through tons and tons of band photos from bands that are not yet superstars to try to find photos that pulled me in right away and pulled me in each for different reasons. So I'm hoping this is going to be real helpful for you. There's tons and tons of videos out there on really bad photos, but that's not going to tell you what to do right. So that's what I want to talk about today. Now, please like, comment on the video down below. Greatly appreciate it. Give me an example of a great band photo. I'd love to see it. Preferably not of a band I've heard before, if you don't mind. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every time one comes out. All right, so first thing you need to know is that engaging photos are engaging and boring photos are boring. So either you or your environment needs to be engaging. So and be honest with yourself, if the way you look, if the way you dress, if you are not photogenic, you are not somebody who's really engaging when someone takes pictures of you, then you need to take advantage of the way you dress, the environment around you, something else in order to, maybe it's the way the photo is staged, something else in order to make the photo engaging for your audience. Remember, you are most likely making a first impression with your photo. So you need to make an amazing and engaging first impression. The point of the photo is to entice. It's to bring people in to want to learn more about you, listen to you, maybe even look at more pictures of you. It needs to do something to bring people in, to let them know that they can like you. It's okay. And remember also that there's different rules for established artists as compared to the rules that exist for when you're making a first impression. A lot of very established bands will take really bad photos, and that's okay because their fans are just looking for more. They're not looking to be introduced. That photo has a different purpose than the photo that you might be trying to shoot for your band. Your photo has a purpose of trying to turn people on, whereas established artists are often taking photos as a way to keep people engaged, finding new ways of showing personality, trying to demonstrate where people are in a particular moment as they follow their career, all sorts of reasons for why photos are the way that they are. Oftentimes, it's just practically a snapshot. It's just, here's what the band looks like right now, and that's all the thought that goes into it. Unfortunately, as you are giving your first impressions to the world as to you and your band and what it is that you stand for, what it is you project, this is a lot of stuff that really comes down to this photo. You are trying to do something very, very specific. You are trying to introduce yourself. There's a very different way of conducting yourself when you are making an introduction and trying to make a first impression over when you're just hanging out with friends that you've known forever and they'll trust you and they believe you already. So I've got 3 different photos here, and each photo I pulled for a totally different reason. So look at these as opportunities to see something in yourself and recognize that these are just 3 examples. There are plenty of others. They're all, and maybe if you ask down in the comments, I'll do more videos like this on other reasons that particular photos are engaging. But perhaps you'll see one of these and you'll go, okay, great, I want to do something like that. Again, I have not listened to these artists yet, but I will do so now after I've shot this video. One of the reasons I'm so excited to shoot this video is so that when I'm done, I can go listen to these bands. Because when I saw these images, I went, this looks interesting. I wonder if this is going to sound like what I think it's going to sound like. I wonder if it's going to be as great as I think it's going to sound. And that's the impression you want to get from your photo. And keep in mind, I looked through dozens, if not hundreds of band photos of bands that I had never heard of before I got to these 3. All right, so first, Conq. I'm guessing that's how his name is pronounced, to be honest with you. I have never heard his name pronounced because I haven't heard his music, haven't looked up anything. I just saw this photo and I went, oh, this is great. This tells me something. Conq, Konq. I found this on Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation is a really great database of bad band photos, but Conq has got his game dialed in. What is Conq doing really well here? Well, I'll tell you what, he does this on about 3 or 4 different images that I found of his on his profile. So he knows what he's doing. He is using his assets. He's an incredibly good looking person, and his smile is incredibly engaging. There are only, how many people have got a smile like this? It's so few, right? So he is using his good looks. The fact that he's in shape, you can tell already he's in shape. He looks active. You can see with the headphones that he's probably doing something that's DJ related or rap related, something like that, because it's a DJ has something to do with what he's doing. That's what the headphones seem to symbolize. I don't know. We'll have to check, make sure. But the big thing is that he just looks like he's in good shape. He is incredibly friendly looking, incredibly charismatic. That smile is absolutely infectious. All I want to do is to find out more about this guy after I see this this photo. I go, this is a dude. I can hang with this dude. This is cool. He won't think I'm cool, but I'm going to think he's way cool. There is no way a guy who looks this good is not super cool. So if you are a good looking person, use that. If you have a great smile, use it. If you have something about you, like a particularly fun tattoo or interesting tattoo, or maybe it's a hairstyle or something like that, put it forward. Whatever it is that you think about you is going to draw people in and want them to learn more about you and the way you are physically projecting yourself. Use it. Even if it's something like you are incredibly ugly, take advantage of it. Flaunt it. If I see a picture of an incredibly ugly person, I'm going to want to see more because, God, that's amazing, right? But if you're mediocre, what are you going to do? All right, so let's move on to the next example. This is a band called Tiny Moving Parts. They're on Hopeless Records. Maybe you're incredibly familiar with them, but I am not, and I will be after I'm done recording. This photo to me seems to be incredibly on brand. Now, are they making really fun music? Are they making friendly music? I don't know, but that's what this photo seems to suggest. When I see these guys, there's only 3 of them, and they're laughing and having a good time with each other, obviously seem to be cracking each other up, or the photographer's cracking them up. They've got a good sense of humor. This is definitely not a Norwegian black metal band. This is definitely not a hardcore rap band. This is some band that's doing something very, very different. It's on brand for them. Also, look at the colors that are being used. Now, I don't know if this was photoshopped or whether they showed up in these clothes or they were dressed or what, but all of the colors that they're wearing are extremely bright and they just pop out. It really pops out. When you scroll through tons and tons and tons of band photos, when they're in color, and you see a photo that is so crisp and so clear and has such bright colors popping out, and these bright colors are consistent with the expressions on their faces, that they're fun and they're friendly, it just is super mega on brand, assuming that their music is exactly what it is that this photo suggests. So I'm going to go and find out, and that's what makes this really cool, is that by seeing this image, I want to learn more. I want to see if what it is they sound like is what they look like, because what they look like looks like something that's fun and something I'm really interested in looking at. Now, this last photo is my favorite, and it's real subtle, but I want to go through this in some amount of detail because I think this is important. It's something you can use really, really well. Even if you're not a good-looking person, for example, if you are just mediocre looking, if your brand is not so well defined, perhaps things like that. So this is a band called Twin XL. They are from K Management. I'm not sure what label they might be on. I was introduced to this band through Michael Kaminsky, who was on a recent panel of ours. I'm hopefully got the link right over my head so you can see what Michael has to say about Twin XL and his other clients in terms of sync licensing and music placement, films, TVs, film, TV, video games, all that stuff. When I saw this image on his website, I went, oh, awesome. I can't wait to hear this band, and I'm waiting to do that. Now, what I think is really cool about this image is it's like a story. It's like a scene from a movie. The mood for all three of the band members is very, very consistent. They're all expressing about the same kind of mood. They are all wearing similar clothes. It makes me kind of want to find out, like, is this what they wear all the time, or is this just for this photo shoot? Regardless, it looks like they're coming from somewhere and something might have happened to them. It is really, really compelling because I'm watching it. I'm trying to fill in the gaps and try to fill out what is the story that happens with this image. And it's super engaging and it pops really, really hard compared to other images around it because it's just, it's not another band standing there with their arms folded or somebody holding their elbow and all the normal things that you see. This is other level, right? It's an image that it's cinematic, and I don't know if Twin XL uses their music inside movies. I'd suggest that possibly they do, but regardless, the songs are going to tell stories. Something about this band is really, really cool, and I want to know more, and I suggest to you it's the fact that this story, classic, it's an old car that they're sitting in, a classic car. They look like maybe even the 50s, like a late era, a Rat Pack type of vibe. There's a story going on here, and I want to know the story. And this band is the only band that can tell it. It's really cool. So those are three great examples of band photos. Please try to use these things. First, if you're good looking, if you've got a great smile, you've got some sort of physical asset that makes you really engaging and charismatic, use it. Do not hide it when you're making a first impression. Feel free to hide it later, but when you're making a first impression, go with it. Two, be consistent in the photo. Bright colors and big smiles and fun and laughing is all on brand. Dark, 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 and moody faces and that sort of thing. That can be a brand, so on and so forth. But make it consistent. Make sure it's crisp and clear and it pops and it's consistent. And the third one is tell a story with your image. Now you can try to combine all these things into one. I suggest for, unless you're some sort of photograph expert, that you just try to do one at a time. If you're working with an outside photographer, get some examples of what you're looking for, show it to them, and tell them why. Tell them the why as to why this photo that you're showing them works and why you want to do something similar. Feel free to rip off great ideas for making a first impression. It's okay. All right, so this is Paul from Outerloop Coaching, and I'll see you in the next video.